I fell for a man 20 years younger when I was 55. After living with my husband for 28 dull years, I lost my heart to a fitness trainer. We secretly met for a year. He said he loved me and I believed him. When my husband said he was going on an overseas business trip, I was thrilled. I thought, now I can finally spend a little free time with Minsu. But it turned out he was seeing another young woman. To him, I was just a woman he enjoyed sleeping with. In the end, men are all the same, young or old. I went back to my husband. For 28 years, I lived with a businessman husband. We had an apartment in Gangnam, foreign cars, and designer handbags. From the outside, it looked like a perfect marriage. My husband ran a construction company and earned a lot of money. My friends envied me, saying I was lucky. But no one knew how cold our bedroom was. I couldn't even remember the last time we'd had real intimacy. He always said he was tired, but I knew he had another woman. The strange perfume scent in his car. The phone calls on weekends, the smell of alcohol late at night, I knew it all. Once a month, he would come to me. No tenderness, no words, just an obligation. After it was over, he'd immediately get up and take a shower. I would just stare at the ceiling. My friends told me to endure it, after all, he was rich. So I did. Our daughter was studying abroad, and I cared too much about my image. And honestly, I didn't have the courage to live alone. I was lonely. The big house felt empty. No matter how many expensive things I bought, that emptiness wouldn't go away. Then one day, a friend suggested we join a gym. She said I looked lifeless. That's where I met Kang Minsu. He looked in his mid-30s, tall, well-built, with a bright smile. He didn't care about my age. He said it was never too late to start exercising. I don't know why, but those words touched me deeply. After 3 months, my body started changing: firmer arms, a slimmer waist, better posture. But what changed most was my heart. I found myself looking forward to my PT sessions. Minsu could read my expressions. He'd ask if something was wrong when I looked sad. My husband never once noticed my expression in 28 years. One day, Minsu asked me out for coffee. My heart skipped a beat. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't say no. In the quiet cafe, he confessed that he liked me from the very first moment. I told him I was married, but he said I didn't look happy. And that was the beginning of a secret relationship that lasted a year. At first, we were cautious. We'd drink coffee after sessions, walk by the river sometimes. But it grew deeper. He treated me like a woman, something I hadn't felt in decades. For the first time in 28 years, I felt alive again. He was gentle, attentive, and made me feel beautiful. I believed every word he said. Sometimes he asked if I ever thought about divorce. And I did many times. But I was afraid. Ending 28 years of marriage. Telling my daughter, facing people's judgment, it terrified me. Still, Minsu said he was serious, that age didn't matter. I wanted to believe him. A year and 2 months later, my husband said he'd be going to China for a month on business. Something clicked inside me. This was my chance. I could finally meet a lawyer, prepare to leave, and start a new life with Minsu. The next day, I told Minsu my decision: I was going to get a divorce. His face lit up. He said I'd made the right choice, that he'd be there for me. I believed him. That weekend, he took me to a pension in Gangwon-do. We spent 2 days together, walking, eating, talking, and loving each other. It felt perfect. I thought it was the beginning of a new life. On the way back, he said he'd be busy next week because of a big gym event. I didn't mind, I had things to prepare too. But that was the start of everything falling apart. He started calling less. Messages came every couple of days instead of every few hours. He said he was busy, and I tried to understand. Then one Friday, I went to the gym. He wasn't there. The staff said he had the day off for personal reasons. Personal reasons? He hadn't told me anything. I felt uneasy. That night, he texted, "I'm in a bit of a difficult situation. Let's talk tomorrow." The next day, we met at a cafe. His face looked tense. And then, he said it. "I've been seeing someone else." My world collapsed. I asked since when. He said, "About 2 months." 2 months, the very time I was dreaming of our future together. I asked what I was to him. He said he liked me, still did, but it wasn't love. He said I made him comfortable. That being with me was easy. That he liked the physical relationship. And that my wealth made things convenient. It hit me hard. I was nothing but comfort and convenience. The new woman was a 30-year-old gym member. He said being seen with me outside made him feel pressured because of people's stares. So in the end, it was about age. He said I was experienced, passionate, and satisfying, but that we had no common ground. That we were from different generations. That's when I finally saw it clearly. To him, I was just a lonely middle-aged woman who filled his time. When I asked why, he told me to get a divorce. He said it was because I looked unhappy. But I knew that was a lie. He just wanted the freedom to meet me without guilt. I felt pathetic. He even asked if we could still meet sometimes. I couldn't bear to look at him. I left the cafe, my legs trembling, and sat on a park bench for hours, crying. I was a fool, a 55-year-old woman who believed a younger man's sweet words, who thought age didn't matter. My friend said, "Didn't I tell you? Men are all the same, young or old. They say what you want to hear, and when they're done, they leave." And she was right. But what about my husband? He didn't know I'd been preparing to divorce him. My friend told me to get a grip, that it's not easy to start over at 55. She told me to go back. So I did. I cried for days. Then I realized, where else could I go? A week later, my husband called. He said he'd be back earlier than planned. I said okay. He didn't suspect anything, he never did. 2 days before he came back, my daughter called. She said I looked tired, asked if something was wrong. I wanted to tell her everything, but I couldn't. I was too ashamed. She said Dad asked about me a lot lately. That he worried about me during his calls. He worried? It was the first time in 28 years that anyone had said that. She said her grandmother once told her, "There's no such thing as a perfect marriage. Passion fades, but comfort and stability are what last." Those words stuck with me. When my husband came home, I went to the airport to pick him up. Something I hadn't done in years. He looked surprised. He asked why I came. I said I just wanted to. On the drive home, he asked, "Were you lonely while I was gone?" He's never asked that before. "Yes," I said. "I was lonely." He said he was sorry that next time, he wouldn't stay away so long. Sorry. That word, it felt unfamiliar yet warm. At home, he unpacked, then sat on the couch. He looked at me carefully and said, "You've lost weight. Have you been eating well?" He noticed my body for the first time in decades. He asked if I was sick. If I was in pain. And as he looked at me, really looked at me, I realized something. Maybe love isn't about passion or excitement. Maybe it's about the quiet comfort of someone who stays.